Hi, Filmstorm here. Today I'll show you a collection of series 911. Poor woman just bit down on a pen. A tooth falls out of her mouth. Then, like a toothy waterfall, more teeth come tumbling out. The woman freaks out. She jumps up, scrambles to check herself in the mirror. But holy moly, more teeth hit the floor. By the time she reaches the mirror, all that's left are bare gums. The woman screams in terror. But luckily, it's all just a dream. However, as she searches for the meaning behind the dream of losing teeth, she suddenly coughs. A real tooth pops out of her mouth, followed by a parade of teeth, just like in the dream. But this time, they get stuck in her throat. She quickly grabs her phone and dials 911. The firefighters arrive promptly, breaking down the door.
Looks like she's still breathing.
The firefighter immediately performs Heimlich maneuver on her. But despite multiple attempts, they couldn't dislodge the tooth from her throat. The team doc decides to take a look-see. Little did she know, a foul smell hits her right away. Even the surrounding team members recoil from the stench. The doctor then uses a tongue depressor to hold the woman's tongue down. Suppressing her nausea, she explores inside and, surprisingly, discovers a tooth growing in the woman's tonsil. The doctor quickly extracts it with forceps, only to realize it's not a tooth, but a tonsil stone.
Oh, what?
It turns out, due to the woman's poor oral hygiene, these formations, consisting of mucus, debris, and bacteria, are nothing more than small bacterial clumps. Hearing this, the woman feels nauseous, resulting in another tonsil stone being coughed up. Clearly, there are more of these stones in the woman's mouth. Helpless, the firefighters have no choice but to rush her to the hospital. Man called 911, claiming to have been viciously attacked by two ferocious dogs at home. However, the policewoman, instead of rushing to his aid, promptly sprinted to a nearby breakfast shop and bought for hamburgers.
Girl, give me 4 cheeseburgers in front.
At the same time, the team quickly arrived at the scene. Man was spraying water at the dogs, but the firefighter quickly stopped him, as it would only provoke them. Just then, burger-bearing officer arrived, and without skipping a beat, she whipped out 2 burgers and tossed them like frisbees. The dogs were instantly entranced and darted towards the tasty bait. The animal control squad swiftly arrived and took the canine troublemaker into custody. However, the female officer felt something was off afterwards. When they arrived, both the front and side doors were closed. How did the dog get in? Right at that moment, the true owner of the house rushed back.
You'll be happy to know they've been fed and they're safe. Problem is, you've been burglarized, and I let them get away.
It turns out they were tricked by a thief. She swore to catch the thief. Man caught a mini white shark while fishing, and he gleefully asked his wife to take a picture as a memento. However, in a bizarre twist, the shark promptly slipped from his grasp and lodged itself in his throat. The man clutched his throat in agony and fell to the ground. Witnessing this, his wife quickly dialed 911. The team quickly arrived at the scene. By that time, the man had already lost consciousness. The firefighter suspected the fish had blocked his airway, rendering him breathless. He attempted to assist the man's breathing using a respiratory device, but found that no air was entering. They had to remove the fish immediately, or the man would suffocate. A firefighter used a laryngoscope to examine the situation inside, and seized the opportunity to grab the thrashing fish. Carefully and delicately, they pulled the fish out. This spectacle made the guy feel queasy. Finally, the man regained normal breathing, and he was placed on a stretcher and taken to the hospital. Still smiling, he said to his wife, "Let's come back here next time." His wife responded, "One surprise like this is enough for a lifetime." A family were playing on an abandoned building. Suddenly, the girl stepped on something. Concerned, the mother rushed forward to assist, but in a shocking turn of events, the team quickly arrived at the scene. Finding the hole was tens of meters deep, firefighter descended to the bottom, discovering the woman still alive but severely injured and unable to move. Upon seeing the firefighter, her first words were not about her own predicament, but a heartfelt inquiry about her children. The doctor reassured her. They wanted to take her to the hospital, but she refused. She knew her time was limited and dreaded the emotional toll her harrowing condition would inflict upon her beloved children. She resolved to bid her final farewell right there. The firefighters reluctantly granted her request. As she heard the voices of the children, the woman smiled. The girl blamed herself, regretting the accident wouldn't have happened if they hadn't been reckless.
Just an accident.
You girls are the best parts of me.
And I love you.
In her final moments, she still cared about her children. The firefighter lifted her onto a stretcher and placed a breathing mask on her, hoping to deceive the children. The eldest daughter had already guessed everything, but she chose not to say a word.
The poor boy got stuck down the well for a dozen hours. The firefighters found that well opening was just as small as a mesh. It was impossible for adults to fit through. They had no choice but to dig a parallel shaft from the side. The mom watched her son all curled up down the well. It tore her heart to shreds. Suddenly, an unexpected torrential rainstorm disrupted the firefighters' progress. The shaft, which they had initially anticipated would take only 1 hour to excavate, now required 3 hours. To make matters worse, the boy was perilously close to an underground river. Another 2-meter slide would send him plunging into the rushing waters. Without hesitation, the captain decided to send someone down. The firefighter crawled and dug like crazy. Eventually, he pulled the kid out of the hole. Observing how the boy trembled from the cold, he promptly wrapped him in a blanket. Once safely above ground, the mother rushed forward to embrace him. The onlookers erupted into applause and cheers. However, in a twist of fate, a sudden lightning bolt struck the drilling machine, instantly burying the firefighter beneath a deluge of soil. The dude wakes up, only to find himself trapped inside a crate. Fueled by a fierce desire to survive, he starts pounding on wooden planks frantically. Lo and behold, a shit ton of sand falls down. He realizes he might have been buried alive by someone and dials 911. Based on the signal from his cell phone, the rescue squad hauls to the scene, but it's a forest. Finding him is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Inside the crate, the oxygen is running thin. The dude's fear levels skyrocket. He starts screaming his lungs out, and firefighters' sound detectors pick up on his cries for help.
Scream, Edgar, now!
They quickly narrow down his location and pull him out of there. After the dust settles, the cops step in to investigate. However, they nab not only the dude but also his wife. Turns out, this dude found out his wife was playing him dirty, so he decided to hire some hitman to take her out. Little did he know that hitman was a total amateur who fell head over heels for the wife. The moment he laid eyes on her, he embellished the husband's intentions to kill her and got her all riled up. The two of them cooked up a plan, luring the dude into the forest, where he gets shot and buried. In the end, all three of them end up behind bars. The hot lady just went to get her hair dyed, never expecting her head to blow up like a freaking balloon. And to make matters worse, her entire noggin got stuck in the damn machine. She was scared out of her mind. The firefighters decided to whip out the electric saw. They took all the necessary precautions to keep her safe and fired up the saw. They went to work, slicing through that machine like hot butter. In no time, they sliced open the outer shell of the contraption. The team carefully removed the pieces, inch by inch, with utmost caution. This whole scene had all the onlookers shitting their pants. Turns out, the lady had a wicked ass allergic reaction to the hair dye. That's why her head swelled up like a goddamn balloon. The team wasted no time, hauling her ass off to the hospital. A bloody dog was about to attack two girls, scaring them out of wits. The firefighters calmed them down. One suggested taking a shot at the dog to put an end to the situation, but the captain put a stop to it. He noticed the dog was frantically spinning in place, suspecting it had been spooked by something. He gestured with his hand and surprisingly, the dog obediently approached. Seizing the opportunity, the team swiftly rescued the girls. However, in a sudden turn of events, the dog managed to break free from the captain's grasp and bolted off into the distance. Realizing something was weird, they gave chase. They stumbled upon an elderly man, trapped under a harvester. Without wasting a moment, they rushed to the person's rescue. Turns out, the gears had jammed. When the man attempted to clear the blockage, the machine unexpectedly started, pinning him down. Thankfully, the clever dog ran off to find help. The firefighters lift the machine and free the trapped man. Meanwhile, the faithful dog anxiously watched the rescue operation unfold. Once the paramedics tended to the elderly person's wounds, the dog promptly rushed to his side, licking his face as if to offer solace.
I love you so much. I'd be gone if it wasn't for you.
911, what's your emergency? Hi, yes, I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Pizza, I think you've dialed the wrong number, ma'am.
I don't think so. Do you still have the cheesy crust? The address? Sure, it's 235 Hayward Street, apartment 3.
911 receives an unusual pizza order call. The dispatcher senses something is amiss.
Ma'am, are you in danger? Is someone making you feel like you can't speak freely?
Then a remarkable code for seeking help enacts.
Move the paw! Come on!
She tells the girl cops are en route, but they'll take about 10 minutes to arrive. During this crucial time, they need to figure out how many people are in the room, and whether any weapons are involved, if he's armed with a gun.
Extra pepperoni would be great.
However, the call stretches longer than expected, raising the man's suspicion. He tightens his grip around the girl's neck.
Shut up!
Andrew, where's Kristen?
She's right here. Say hey to your friend. Please, shut up! Shut up!
Hey, what's going on, Andrew? Talk to me.
She ruined it. She always ruins it.
Nothing is ruined. Okay, now we can fix this, but you've got to let me help you.
Oh,
My grandmother always says that when God closes a door, he opens a window. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith.
The girl gets what she means. She bites his wrist, makes a daring escape through the balcony and, leaving the man baffled and bewildered. He awaits the consequences of his actions, a looming prison sentence.
Dad, I don't want to be an engineer. I want to be Dad!
The firefighters arrived immediately. He inquired the man about his condition. He immediately urged them to prioritize rescuing his daughter in the front passenger seat.
My daughter, you have to help her.
The girl was trapped under a heavy object, struggling to breathe. The firefighter quickly fetched an airbag, removed it, and freed the girl. Then they turned to the man. As the team leader cut open the dashboard, a shocking discovery was made. The man's body was pierced by steel bars, yet he showed no signs of pain. Due to being in a state of shock, aware that his time was running short, he refused to let his daughter witness his suffering. Instead, he entrusted the captain with a few words to relay on his behalf.
Tell her whatever she decides to do. I will always be so proud of her, and tell her that she's good, really good.
This savvy lady has mastered the art of stealing packages outdoors without a hitch. Each day, she stealthily scours every household. With lightning speed, she manages to swipe a whole carload of parcels. But that still doesn't satiate her insatiable desires. The delivery guy happens to show up with a fresh batch of parcels. No way she's going to pass up this golden chance. As soon as he left, she zooms in like a ninja. But as she makes her daring escape, she slips, letting out a pig-like screech. In a hilarious turn of events, the crafty criminal ends up needing a 911 rescue. After a thorough check, turns out her leg injury is not severe. Unaware of the woman's illicit activities, one jokingly asks if anything inside the parcels got broken. The lady remains tight-lipped, urging them to take her to the hospital. Shortly after, the police arrive and find that she's just the culprit they've been trying to catch. The lady eventually confesses, admitting she doesn't actually enjoy stealing packages, but finding pleasure in the excitement of unraveling the unknown parcels. Subsequently, the police arrest her. A hot girl goes to withdraw money, but the ATM spits out a note for help. She's so fixated on the dough that she tosses the note without a second glance. Next is a dashing older dude, who finally notices the note, and faintly hears a plea for help, but he thinks it's a prank for a hidden camera show, so he grumbles and walks away. Then, a drop-dead gorgeous girl steps up, expecting her moolah, but the ATM refuses to dispense it. Another desperate plea note emerges, warning her if she wants her cash, call 911. She dialed for rescue, and here comes the firefighters. They find a hapless guy who was to change the ATM's lock, while accidentally was locked inside. The team leader whips out his magical cutting machine like a pro, freeing the poor guy.
I've never been happier to see anyone in my life.
911, what's your emergency? Help me, please. They're outside. They're trying to break in. My mom's not home from work yet. What to do?
The operator asks for her address, but she just moved in, only knows the street name, and no GPS on her child's phone. The girl rushes upstairs and hides in her bedroom, telling the operator that there's a pink bicycle parked outside her house. Police was sent to search the area.
this area's had a spate of daytime break-ins recently, and one homicide. We need to find this girl.
The girl sneaks downstairs, hoping to slip away quietly, but ends up bumping into the robber face to face.
Kid in the house, she's got a phone!
She hides in a secret compartment, but is grabbed by the robber. The operator has no choice but to negotiate, promising to help them escape if they ensure the girl's safety. The robber locks her in a room and follows the woman's instructions to walk outside. Unexpectedly, they encounters a female police officer head-on. Unwilling to give up, he grabs the girl, attempting to flee. The girl seizes the opportunity to bite his hand and breaks free.
Oh my God. Fireman Buckley, what's happening? Are the suspects in custody?
The man tries to escape on a motorcycle, but is thwarted by a firefighter's powerful water hose, knocking him down to the ground.